Hi Bracken, Pastor Don here. I'm kind of playing hooky from writing my sermon for Sunday, and I decided to come outside and enjoy this amazingly beautiful weather that we're having here. I mean, it's just, the sun is shining and birds are singing. It's just gorgeous. I wish that I would have had my cell phone on me a little bit earlier today to be able to have shown you what happened in this tree behind me. You'll notice we have a hummingbird feeder, but we also have a little hanging wooden box there, and that's a squirrel feeder. We keep it filled with corn, especially for one particular squirrel that just seems to hang out here at our house. And we have affectionately titled him the Chunky Monkey Squirrel, because he is truly a chunky monkey. He is a butterball of a squirrel. He just sits in that box and eats to his heart's content. When it gets empty, we fill it, and that process just continues. So today he's there, he's eating, and he's chowing down, and this smaller, thinner little squirrel decides to join him. And he tries to eat what Chunky Monkey Squirrel has. Chunky Monkey just went bananas. And I just realized I said Chunky Monkey went bananas, and that, no pun intended. Anyway, Chunky Monkey Squirrel, he just became super angry. And he stands up on his back legs. He starts telling off the skinny little thin squirrel, which frightens the skinny little thin squirrel. And he's probably trying to figure out what's going on. All he wanted to do was just have a little bit of what Chunky Monkey Squirrel had. The little thin squirrel ran off. And Chunky Monkey Squirrel actually just sat down and started eating again. And he wasn't thinking about how he has an overabundance. He never has to go without. He has more than he needs. And it made me start thinking of chapter 4 in our Lenten Bible study from the book called The Walk, which talks about giving and how giving is one of the 5 essential demonstrations of faith that Jesus not only followed and showed God, but also what Jesus showed while on the cross dying for us. And so I want to talk to you a little bit about gratitude today. And how do we give thanks for what we already have? How do we cultivate a desire for what we already have? Now you may think that kind of sounds strange, and maybe it does in a way, because we live in a society where we can have something, but then as soon as the latest and greatest comes along, we want it instead. I think William Gladstone, who was a British statesman back in the mid-1800s, said it the best when he said, "Be happy with what you have and are, and be generous with both, because when you do that, you won't have to hunt for happiness." You see, if we give thanks for what we already have, we're going to find a contentment and a freedom that goes beyond description, because we're going to begin to learn that we possess our possessions rather than our possessions possessing us. And, as we read in the Bible and look at Scripture, we can definitely see that there is a clear connection between the relationship we have with our money and with what we own, and with the development and the strength of our own spiritual life. Think about these words that Jesus said in Matthew 6, verses 19 through 21. "Do not store up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moth and rust consume, and where thieves can break in and steal. But instead store up for yourself treasures in heaven, where moth and rust will not consume, and where thieves do not break in and steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also." My dad used to say, "You will never see a hearse with a luggage rack." What he meant by that was, when we do die and we leave our earthly life behind and we now go to live with Christ, all those possessions that we thought were so important, that we had worked so hard and strived and tried to accumulate, and that big, huge bank balance that we thought we just had to have because it's going to make us look successful, none of it is going to mean a thing to us. We can't take it with us anymore, because we receive the ultimate treasure once we go on to live with God. I think that's why throughout Scripture, God is constantly asking us to look at generosity, to look at gratitude as an act of worship, and as a way of having Christian discipleship that reflects our love for God and especially our faithfulness to God. So I want you to think about that. What does that look for you? What does gratitude, what does giving thanks for what you already own mean to you and have for you, especially when you consider it to the scripture I just read to you from Matthew 6. So think about that, pray about it, and then tune in tomorrow for Pastor Barbara's video where she takes us a little deeper and talks about it a little more. I'll be interested to hear what you say after you think about it, pray about it, and what you hear from her more. Feel free to send us your comments on Facebook or in email because we'd love to hear from you. So if you have a chance today, get out, enjoy this beautiful weather, still keep doing this social separation, don't hang out around anybody, but just spend some time in God's beautiful glory. Y'all have a great day. God bless, and talk to you later. Bye.